temperature checks, hand sanitizing, face masks and social distancing are part of the new normal. They are some of the safety measures to protect air passengers as COVID-19 continues to be a leading driver of global anxiety and financial stress. From global health crisis to economic vulnerability as airspaces were short, aircraft grounded, job cuts, and aviation value chain in comatose. All of these resulting in massive losses.
The number of times they changed their HEPA filters has increased, and they had to have a large pool of the HEPA filters, even though they were not flying. Even during the time the aircraft were on ground, they still have to go to the maintenance C checks because some are time bound. You know, you just must do it, and then you must service the aircraft even though it's not flying.
Over the world, aviation has suffered a very, very big hit, but most of them are trying to get out of it, but they are not going to see profit until in the next 2 years, according to International Air Transport Association.
We were scared of countries rolling up their own conditions and their own requirements for entry into their country, and that actually happened. And our call for ICAO and IATA to have a global approach, which they have, but the rollout did not come as it should.
International Air Transport Association estimated an airline industry net loss of $118.5 billion in 2020, an additional $38.7 billion losses in 2021. About 300 million people are estimated to have lost their jobs as a result of COVID-19. Also, government support to airlines estimated to be at least $180 billion. This has saved weak legacy airlines from collapse.
You need to follow the guidelines, but people need to know what they need to do before they travel. And once you know this, I think a lot more people will want to take to air travel.
1 year down the line, things are changing. COVID-19 triggered anxiety seems to be diminishing, especially with the rollout of vaccines.
IATA e-travel documentation, which is very good. I believe if most countries should adopt that as a guideline, I think we will quickly open up the airports and countries will open up. But with the successful rollout of the vaccination, I believe the pre-COVID travel will come sooner than we expect.
Look at the opportunities within our local market that, you know, are not areas that you have looked for. For example, if you have a Boeing 737 that you used to use for passenger flight, is it possible for you to convert it to a cargo flight and begin cargo distribution across the country? Because that market, cargo market, is not tapped as of today.
For the industry to bounce back to pre-COVID era, analysts agree that aggressive cost-cutting measures will drive cheaper fares and increase demand for air travel. They are also optimistic that with the reopening of borders, test protocols and availability of vaccines will see the industry turn cash positive in the fourth quarter of this year.
Experts are of the opinion that with the easing of travel restrictions, successful rollout of vaccine program, airline operators and passengers adapting to the new normal, all of these will lead to the resurgence of the aviation industry. Lilian Eze-Mark, TVC News, Lagos.